Hi everyone, parachuting in honor of Israel's paratroopers, Israel's Jeep Sufa 2, new archaeological findings in Jerusalem, and a group visiting Israel learns how to fight back against anti-Israel propaganda. This is Israeli Salad. Shalom and welcome to Israeli Salad. On October 29th, 1956, Israeli units parachuted near the Suez Canal. This was part of the Sinai campaign. This act was the IDF's first and only operational parachute jump. It was held in cooperation with British and French forces. Today, 50 years later, a special parachuting exercise was held. And who jumped off the planes? 15 of the same soldiers who took part in the operation, and dozens of others who came to support from abroad. Gabi Newman, Tennis Samuel, and Yechezkel Lang report.
Paratroopers from all over the world have come to Israel in order to take part in celebrations marking 50 years since the parachute drop over the Mitla Pass in the Kadesh operation, in order to open the Straits of Tiran blocked by Egypt. In that operation, codenamed Operation Musketeers, both British and French forces took part. One of the veteran soldiers who took part in that operation as part of the French force remembers those days.
What is your strongest memory from then?
The jump, obviously. And when we landed in the DZ, the Egyptian weapon shooting us.
Paratroopers from all over the world gathered for a festive meal at the Mini Israel Museum in Latrun and watched a free-fall jump conducted by the Israeli parachute club Skykef.
We feel one with paratroopers from all over the world, and there was a whole lot of paratroopers from all over to join here, and it's been very great so far to be with them.
The celebration continued late into the night, but like true paratroopers, the visitors arrived on time bright and early at 5:30 a.m. the next morning at the parachute base in Tel Nof.
I certainly think that your soldiers are very professional. The manner that they've accommodated us here is exceptional. And I must say that we find Israel very beautiful, and it's very interesting that you've got so many wonderful holy sites to visit.
120 paratroopers from countries all over the world like England, France, the US, Holland, and Sweden jumped with veterans of the Mitla jump as a mark of respect from foreign armies to the IDF.
אני באתי מארצות הברית, I'm an American, American born, I'm Jewish, אייל, זה השם שלי. It's a big honor להיות פה עם הצנחנים ישראלים ולעשות את זה. ראיתי פעם ראשון הרקיוליס של מדינה ישראל והתחלתי לבכות. I'm very proud to be Jewish and to be an Israeli American.
The original Sufa Jeep has been called the prize horse of the IDF. It's the only Jeep made in Israel, and it can be seen throughout Judea and Samaria, as well as cruising Jerusalem streets. Now it's time for a new addition to the family. Let's meet the Sufa 2. At the end of 2005, the Automotive Industries Incorporated factory launched the Sufa 2, a Jeep whose older brother is familiar to Israel's defense forces and commands a great deal of respect in day-to-day security in Israel. The Jeep comes in two models, a commander's Jeep used to lead missions, and the armored Sufa used for urban warfare.
The Sufa, in the meantime, has proved itself very well at the level of the company commander, the regiment commander, and for senior command personnel. This new Sufa is advanced. We know that the Army will continue to purchase these for several more years. We want the state and the security services to help us as much as possible. For every 10 Jeeps they buy from us, we can export one. This is a factory that can promote industry and employment in Israel for many more years. It's still hard to convince an army officer to buy Israeli-made products rather than buy an import. They would sometimes rather go abroad and spend 2 years checking out foreign products rather than buy what they have in their own hands at home.
The new vehicle is a tough field Jeep with ability to navigate in different terrains and under a variety of conditions. A look at the assembly line in Nazareth gives us an idea of how it's produced.
I call these bars the Pillars of Solomon. They reinforce the entire body of the Jeep. They brace the body of the Jeep and also the rear door, and hold the spare tire as well.
The Israeli factory invested 12 million shekels in research and development of the new production line of Sufa 2. The company can produce up to 10 Jeeps per day.
I think there's a future for Army vehicles such as those we're producing because it has an international niche. The biggest manufacturers don't compete in this area, so we have a relative advantage.
The Jeep is exported to foreign markets and used for the local needs of the Army here. In 2006, the security services ordered 500 Sufa 2 Jeeps. In the new Jeep, they implemented new technologies and advancements that fit the combat doctrine of the Israeli Army.
In the foreign markets, they want a product with 2 air conditioners, and they want automatic systems, they want a diesel engine, they want spiral springs, they want a vehicle to be comfortable. And for foreign sales, I need to progress. And at the end of the day, the Israeli soldier also benefits from this progress, but you have to pay for progress.
The company was built in 1966 and is the only factory in Israel which builds cars. The factory is responsible for producing other vehicles, such as the well-known Abir and Nun 4x4 vehicles. And likewise, the factory produces other special vehicles for the police, the army, and for clients abroad.
In 3 years, this factory will produce 1,000 cars, not for the civilian market, but for the military market.
Some 150 workers are employed at this factory.
His father built this factory, and he won't let it close. Through all the ups and downs, we were here. Now, it's one of the most stable periods we have ever had, thanks to this owner. When he comes here to the factory, we honor him. He has his father's genes. He's the kind of owner that we're happy to see when he comes to visit, and we look forward to when he'll come next time. It's a series of Jeeps that came out so well, so nicely, with no problems, and I worked in this place where they produced the Abir and the Hummers. They worked hard to fix the bugs. This Jeep came out smooth, with no problems, no bugs to fix. The company commanders and all the officers in the Army were waiting for this Jeep to come out. There's a lot of Zionism in the factory among the workers. Altogether, it's hard to make industry in Israel. The Zionist dream will not stand only upon the armed forces. It must also stand on the ability to produce. And high-tech is not exclusive to Israel. But in systems like this, military support systems, we have uniqueness.
Wow, and by the way, the Automotive Industries Factory, in addition to being an important contribution to Israel's economy, is Shabbat observant. A simple sign on the security gate reads, Shabbat observant factory, meaning no work is done on Saturday, the Jewish Shabbat. Additionally, all the food served at the facility is kosher.
Please send your comments, ideas, and questions to the Israeli Salad email, yoni@israelnn.com, or leave a message on the Israeli Salad voicemail at international dialing code 972-3918 5554. That's 972-3918-5554.
And now we're off to Jerusalem. Gabi Newman and Yechezkel Lang visited new excavations that were revealed in Jerusalem.
Archaeologist Zvi Greenwood of the Israel Antiquities Authority has reason to be happy. A recent dig in the city of David in Jerusalem has uncovered ancient Jewish homes dating back to the Second Temple period.
In the excavations, this domestic area was found to be a very nice one, overlooking the Siloam pool, and it included 4 stories of houses or rooms, one on top of the other. Right now, we are just in the ground floor of this whole complex, and we see the chambers of the ground floor. We can see one of the chambers over here with a pantry in the wall itself.
The status of the people living in the dwellings was determined by a rather innocuous detail, the type of plaster used in the walls.
But at the moment that I found some stucco on the walls, themselves, I realized that this is very similar to another discovery which was found not far from here in the upper city of Jerusalem 20 or 30 years ago. And this was a very good indication for me that we are speaking here on the Second Temple neighborhood, and more than that, on a very high status neighborhood of a very rich and maybe famous or priests population.
While today most Jews go to the neighborhood mikveh to purify themselves, the wealthy owners of the ancient home had things much easier.
You can see the steps, we can see the plaster, and we are just now in a mikveh, in a ritual bath. The important thing in this ritual bath is that we have here another pool or another reservoir by it. Now it becomes more important because of the relation between this site and the Siloam pool, which is about 150-200 meters from us. And this means that people here didn't go down to the public mikveh, they had their own domestic ritual bath. This gives us another clue for the high status of the people who lived here, and that's very important.
The discoveries were made in a plot owned by an organization committed to redeeming Jewish land from Arabs.
This association wants to build here a new building, and that's the reason for my excavation in this area, a rescue excavation, trying to decipher exactly what is here and then to decide what should be the fate of this site. And every building here, every new building, is building on top of an ancient settlement of that period, of an ancient structure of that period.
The latest discoveries may be only the tip of the iceberg, hinting at even greater treasures that lie just beneath our feet.
Many groups come to visit Israel. Many of them return with much more knowledge and understanding about what's going on here. Mark Kaplan met a group who came to Israel with one goal: to return to their homes armed with facts, details, and methods to advocate on behalf of Israel throughout the world.
Right On for Israel is a program that intends to help prepare young people to arrive on college campuses and hit the ground running when it comes to Israel advocacy.
Yes, these teens have hit the ground running, and they talk enthusiastically about what they're learning.
And the thing is what they're training us to do. They're training us to know how to speak, to know how to write, to know how to advocate, to organize, etc. And basically to really stand up for the Jewish people, and not only for ourselves, but for other Jews who may not have the knowledge, who may not have the voice, who may not have the courage.
When I first came to Montreal, half of my class was Arab, and they were totally anti-Israel. I always heard their anti-Israel rhetoric, and I was at a problem because I didn't know how to combat this rhetoric before. Since that incident, I did everything in my power to learn from Israel sources information about Israel, real information, not the Arab propaganda. And I think this program has helped me a lot in giving more information.
Hopefully, in the future, I can be an Israel lobbyist and work for an organization and help support Israel, either here or in the United States, maybe. And this is teaching me how to do that, and also the different perspectives that I can't find at home in Highland Park.
So, why come all the way to Israel to study public relations?
What's impressed me the most about this trip is that I call it Israel All Access. Eti has been great about getting us into places where I've never been before and where almost nobody from the States gets to go. So, for example, we went to the Knesset, we actually met with an MK, and we went to the Erez crossing into Gaza, which were places I'd never been to meet an MK. I'd never been to Erez. I'd been to Yad Mordechai, but that's not, also close to Gaza, but it's not actually at the crossing, which you hear so much about. Having this kind of access to to journalists, politicians, to Israeli society in general, and also to some elements of Palestinian society, has really helped me to further my knowledge.
That's actually one of the things. The media only shows not even half of the picture. They show 1% of it. And the thing is, when you're actually on the ground, you get to talk to the people. You get to see the land, and you just get to see, any little part of this land is just as good as the other part. And this is all our land. It's all for the Jewish people, and just appreciating that and really growing a love for it is one of the best things that I think all of us came away with on this program.
Not only has my love blossomed for this state, but I also have a deeper appreciation for what it means to be a Jewish state.
And no matter where you go, they're teaching us stuff now where even in Israel, wherever we are, we have that identity and we have the knowledge and we have the power to speak and to write and to advocate. And I think that's something that not that many programs really offer you.
Okay, that's all for this week. Join us again next week for another edition. Until then, from all of us here at INN TV, Arutz Sheva, Shalom.
Yeah.